What about now? Can you hear me
There
now?
we go.
Okay,
There
so
we go.
I was gonna spotlight myself. All right, you guys. I just came to say, hey, first of all, she said I'm Dana Keel, and that's true. No argument there. So tonight, you guys, I'm giving you, if you can tell, I'm giving you my best Diana Ross, right? Like hair,
Yeah.
lashes, earrings, my best hoops. Couple of things, you guys. First of all, Jane Fonda. I just want to speaking of 70s icons from Cher, I'm about to call her Cher. I was giving you my best Cher about 2 weeks ago when it was all down, but now it's up. Anyway, speaking of 70s icons though, Jane Fonda was on my Google feed, and this was the quote: my greatest regret, one of, was not sleeping with Marvin Gaye, that I did not take him up on his offer. And I was like, Jane, is that BLM or is that TMI? Like, I'm just saying, like, you do know his wife is still alive, and it is likely that she and she watches the news, and she might even be on her Google feed as well. You guys, that cracked me up. So I am at this point in my life at the door of menopause. Whew. And let me just say a couple of things first. I am single, of which I am exhausted. I'm ready to mingle. And I right. And I don't want to die alone. I really don't. And I'm so single that like stray cats don't even follow me home. Like, I had a standoff with a black cat in the street the other night. He was like, "You go." I was like, "No, you go." He was like, "No, you go." I was like, "Okay." Like, I'm so single. Cats don't even call. Like, I'm so single that my dad, who's been married 3 times, has never asked me, when was I getting married? He has, however, skipped right over me to his grandson, my son, who's 19, and asked me, well, does he have a girlfriend? Him who has no money, no car, no job? Him? Well, yeah, he's got a girlfriend. And they have safely social distanced for almost 2 years now because at least, a year of it's been on quarantine. So being single at the door of menopause, surviving single motherhood, let me just say this, it feels like the 3 strikes, right? You guys, the criminal legislation, crime bill 94, crime bill 96, like, but only in America do we name criminal legislation after a sports phenomenon, right? Right? Like, that's us. That's what America does. And, we had a guilty 3 strikes a couple of weeks ago, right? But it is still very tough for African Americans to trust the American legal system, right? The American legal system, to me, is a lot like the Bible. A lot of good ideas on paper, a lot of them, but it just depends on who's explaining it. Just depends. If you say love thy neighbor, Matt Gaetz says, well, is she 17? you know? But going back to this menopause thing, so like the good thing about menopause is like there are mood swings, right? So brokenhearted, he broke my heart, and you're like sad 1 minute, happy the next. He was the wrong guy anyway, right? What else? Like the hot flashes. My heating bill is down because I'm hot all the time. Like I don't, we don't have to do whatever. I've got a minute. The only committed relationship I'm in, and there are two, I'm gonna give you the first. The first is that I'm in a committed relationship with my calories. They are committed to my thighs. They are now committed to my back, right? They are now committed to my belly. They are committed to all parts of the body that I don't want. And as an African American woman, the other committed relationship, or maybe not so committed relationship I'm in, is with African American and woman, because it's hard to be in harmony all the time with both. Why? Because is it ERA or is it BLM? Like, which is it really? The Women's March could be on the same day as the Million Man March, and I had to go to the Million Man March on that day. I'm just saying. But at any but at any other given time, I am marching for Dante Wright. I am marching for George Floyd. But then I forgot that Felicity Huffman actually was tried, went to jail, and sentenced all before Harvey Weinstein even has gone to court. So I'm just saying. Sometimes it's just hard. Like that's just not even a relationship I can reconcile. I want to end on a big laugh, but I'm out of time. I just love you guys so much. Thank you for the time in the room.
Yo, so funny. So funny. If you wanna